Hi there, Tracy from Kazadans Equestrian. This week I'm going to invite you to start making a fitness plan for your horse. So here in South Australia, we're coming right into winter and a lot of people put their horses out for a break. We've of course had a lot of breaks in events and things we can do with our horses due to the COVID-19 crisis. So maybe now is a terrific time to sit back, look at your new aims and what you want to achieve with your horse and flesh out a fitness plan that suits you and your horse. So importantly, there are 7 basic objectives to any training plan. Number 1 is to increase the horse's stamina or increase their ability to do whatever they need to do for longer. Number 2 is to increase speed. Number 3 is to increase muscular strength. Horses need specific muscular strength quite differently for different sports, but any increase in strength is going to make them find any of their work a lot easier. So number 4 is we want to delay the onset of fatigue. Preferably you don't have any major fatigue in your horse before it finishes its event or competition. Any increase in fatigue level and pushing a horse beyond that really does increase the risk of injury. Which leads us to number 5, which is to be able to help your horse perform in the way that you want it to with the minimum risk of injury. Number 6, we need to improve their biomechanical skills and their coordination. And number 7, and I think probably almost the most important, is to maintain your horse's willingness to continue to work. So you can go through the training plan as much as you like. If the horse suddenly gets very sour and doesn't want to do the work, you're not getting the best out of him. It doesn't matter which horse sport you're involved in, whether it be racing, eventing, dressage, any western, all of these points or all of these basic objectives do need to be met. The difference will be, depending on the sport, you are going to need to emphasize one more than the other. Like obviously for endurance, there's a big emphasis on stamina. It's important to understand also that no training plan is going to overcome any major deficiencies that your horse has. For example, if you've got a racehorse and they are just an inherently or genetically slow horse, you can train them as much as you like. You're not going to suddenly make them fast. However, the training plan and the idea of the training plan is to get the absolute best out of the horse that you have. So the training that you're going to embark on will vary between individual horses, individual riders, which sport you're involved in, as well as what competition level you're keen to achieve. You need to include in your training plan, obviously, sport-specific activities. And like I used as an example, we wouldn't be training an endurance horse by improving its sprinting. And that part of the training could be for another purpose, not to improve the stamina of your horse. We want the horse to be fit enough to compete. However, we don't want to push the horse to competition levels during the training period. So really we want to improve fitness without actually mimicking the competition workload. This is the way we can get the horse ready for the competition with minimal risk of injury. So you can see there's a fine line between conditioning your horse adequately and a biomechanical breakdown which is going to throw all of your goals and aims out of the window. It's very important that you address and list out your horse's weaknesses and strengths. Weaknesses can be, maybe the jumping phase in an eventing situation, Maybe it's a conformational weakness, so your horse is a little bit long-backed and maybe prone to saddle soreness or back issues. But you need to list these things out. Maybe you've got a horse that's less willing to work, but list the weaknesses and list the strengths, because that's going to be a really great guide to how to set out your fitness plan. Step 1 is obviously to identify which horse sports you want to be involved in, or which horse sports you are involved in and want to aim for, and what is the level that you're trying to aim for within a time period. So you may have a fitness plan that lasts 12 months, 2 years, or 3 months, but where is your aim for the end of that fitness plan? I don't suggest you make a 3-year fitness plan, because all sorts of things could interrupt you in the middle of that. But 6 months to 12 months may be quite appropriate, or even 3 months. Have a look at the triangle of speed, stamina, and strength. The horse sport that you have chosen is quite likely to require a higher level of one of these three, but we must address all three in your training phase. So stamina is predominantly aerobic. Speed, that little burst of speed, and strength is often anaerobic. However, most horse sports are predominantly aerobic exercise. So what is the difference between aerobic and anaerobic? Aerobic is the creation of energy in the presence of oxygen, where anaerobic is the production of energy by the body without the presence of oxygen. So when there's no oxygen available to those cells, they follow a completely different process to create energy, and that is called anaerobic. This is just step 1, so there's not a lot to do this week, but this is your homework, I guess, for this week. Identify the horse sport you are or want to be involved in. Identify your timeline and also the level of this horse sport that you would like to be at the end of your training plan. A really important step now is this list, a list of your horse's strengths and weaknesses. So come back and have a look next week with those simple things done, and I'm going to help you flesh this plan out with a good look at frequency, duration, and intensity of exercises required to meet those basic 7 objectives of your fitness training plan. Good luck with this, and I'll see you next week. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, then you'll at least get notified that next week's video is out. Click on the like if you found this interesting, and feel free to make any comments or suggestions in the comments below on the YouTube. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next week.